Hello and welcome. I am the one and only Sugi and I'm coming back from a small hiatus, and today I'm gonna review this early access game called Tuebor, which is essentially a third-person arena shooter game mixed with some MMO and Moba elements on the side, along with few PvE modes. And the thing is with this genre right now, whatever it's on the arena side of things, you have Bloodsports TV, Battle.Right, Rocket League, and on the FPS side you have a lot of arena shooters right now. You have Lawbreakers, you have the new Quake, the Unreal Tournament, then you have Diabolical, and then you have games that are kind of similar to the genre, which are like the team shooters like Overwatch and Paladins. So this whole genre is very stacked, and it's really silly in my opinion as an indie developer to try to really break through in this space because you don't have the spending power to really talk to YouTubers or streamers to feature their games when the other big companies are already doing that. And it's a very crowded space right now, and I think it's really hard to break through, and the player bases usually will go heavily towards into one or two games. And I think it was a good example when I entered this game. There was only seven players online throughout 3 servers, and that is a bit of an issue, especially when I didn't get into queue with none of those players, so I ended up playing against the bots. And yeah, I think it's okay to have a bot mode. It's actually a plus in my opinion, so I was actually able to try out the game instead of like having to wait a million hours for players to show up. But the big problem though with this game, I mean there are many, but let's talk about some of them. So the one thing that was really cool about the game was this game mode called Skull Ball, which is essentially a MOBA mode mixed with Rocket League. So there's the Skull Ball in the middle, which you need to, with your abilities, for example, or auto attacks, pretty much push into the enemy's goal. And the arena has like this floor which shapes around and raises and goes lower, which makes it kind of interesting and more situational type of thing. In a lot of the ways, the level design is actually pretty good. The graphics aren't too bad, but the user interface on the shops, on the main menu, all of this looked pretty horrible. I think they did use very bad fonts, and sometimes the game was kind of looked like it was from early 2000s or early 90s with those green health bars. It just didn't look very fashioned and stylish to today's standards, what is expected from a game like this. Then again, it is an indie developer, but you have to understand when to really quit a project. And I'm going to say that this game is not going to be successful in the future. That is my own conclusion that I came from playing the early access, because for example, they had a Kickstarter project last month. They pledged for $50,000 approximately and got like 1.7k. So you got roughly around 2% of the money you asked, and that should give you an indication that people are not really interested in your game. They're not interested in buying it or playing it free to play, and they're not really interested also in the fact of like putting any money into it, because they know that games like Paladins and Overwatch and possibly these other like arena games are going to dominate the market, and they're going to be the games which a lot of people will go to play. And I did like some of the character designs on the game. They were not too bad. Some kind of looked like a bit of like transvestite, so I wasn't really sure was this one spider dude a man or female. It was based on the face. It was kind of misleading. Some of the game modes are cool. So you have essentially capture the flag type of situation. Then you have this like a wave mode, which is essentially a PvE, and then you have deathmatch up to 8 versus 8, which is pretty cool. So you have essentially a lot of like these very high player count modes, up to 16 players, which is very nice. It's not something that is overly done in the space, but still, like, the Unreal Tournament does look good. As I mentioned, like, it's not really that bad graphics, but I just say that the user interface is kind of wonky, and also like the ability icons, I have no idea what they're going to do based on the pictures that I see. Some of the SFX is very questionable. I don't really feel a lot of entertainment playing the characters either. I don't think their kits are that personable. I mean, they lack kind of like flavor. I mean, the designs are okay. Like the designs are actually, some of them are really good, but sometimes the abilities are kind of like these are not very impressive. Like I don't really feel anything when I play the game, and I think like game like Overwatch is a good like example of like good ability design, and also like the sounds, and you have like kind of like how you feel when your character is squishy. You feel when your character is very strong, and you can control the character. And this is just a game that doesn't seem to really have that, and just based on the Kickstarter and my experience playing the game modes, it's just not really up to the bar with the other games. It does have that advantage that it is a free-to-play game, and it's done by an indie studio based on Michigan. I think the owner owned some type of a gaming cafe before this, but I'm just, you know, all the respect to him to really trying to come out in the space and try to do something a bit different and a bit unique. But it just, the game in terms of, it's just not very polished, and I just don't think there is right now a room for this type of a game that in a genre with that is very stacked right now. Maybe if it would have come 5 years ago or in another time, maybe it would have like fared a bit better, but you know what comes to today, I just don't think it's very remarkable type of a game. And also like it does have lacking things, as I mean like animations are not top quality. It did have some bugs. The UI is pretty bad. The music was like, oh god, there was like a normal bass line like down 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 down, like what the fuck is that? Like like it's just not very like fun to play, and just maybe they will like take this as a lesson, bit of like an improve on their next game that they do, but this is not going to be the game for me, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere because just how crowded the space right now is. And thanks for watching this review, and I will do a follow-up review for this game if it ever leaves early access perhaps. And check out my other arena games reviews on this channel as well, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.